Hey YouTube, it's been a while, but I'm back for another movie review. Let me just say apologies for taking some time to upload. I just got, number one, married. And number two, I'm currently here in Singapore for work. Meron kaming event na inatendahan and I actually had to focus on that first before my own personal channel, of course. Ganun naman talaga. But I'm very, blessed to be here as well. There's actually a lot of videos that medyo tinambakan ako, so I actually have back-to-back videos that I'm making. Let's start things off with the horror movie, The Nun 2.
The demon, it came back.
Now, I have to say first and foremost, I was surprised na medyo low-key yung marketing strategy for The Nun 2. This movie didn't really have that much PR or people talking about it like big buzz, despite it being a very big potential for a franchise. Actually, it is part of a bigger franchise, which is The Conjuring. It is technically a prequel to The Conjuring universe. Like, the first Nun movie was actually very forgettable. If you ask me to retell or summarize that film, I can't even begin to tell you for the life of me how that film transpired and whatnot. Now, this movie is a slight improvement from the last. I feel like this is going to be forgettable when it ages. It is somewhat a little better, but the biggest thing that really destroyed this film for me was the first few minutes, like the opening act or sequence, like the first half of the movie. That entire chunk was just boring. A lot of the horror elements that you want to, expect, you can actually get from the trailer. So throughout the entire movie, there's nothing much that really makes it intriguing or interesting enough that you wanna buy in or zero in on The Nun. It doesn't work as a horror movie. It doesn't work in terms of the plot for the first half, but it does take its time really to get to something worthwhile. But by that time, medyo nasayangan ka na sa oras mo. Hindi naman siya yung you want to leave, but you're just bored. But admittedly, the other half is interesting. It's not, again, scary, but there's something that's intense about it. I love the intensity. I love the acting also of our main character here. She steals the show for me, to be honest. But one of my biggest concerns, yes, the plot eventually gets its footing, but I also first and foremost felt it's confusing in the whole Conjuring universe. Like, where does it fit? Where does Nun 2 fit in the whole universe or scheme of things? Is this after the exorcism of Frenchie? I don't think so as well, because he hasn't met, diba? Parang hindi pa niya nami-meet yung Warrens, no? So it's a bit confusing. They try to infuse and go back to the timeline of The Conjuring towards the end. So dun lang, medyo confusing siya in that front. But I also felt like this film didn't really do justice for Valak. I mean, yun nga, sinasabi ko, she could be the central villain. Nasayangan lang talaga, nakulangan ako, and it could have been something worthwhile, but eventually, as a whole, it was just okay. I felt like what I experienced in the first half, which was complete boredom, was somewhat appeased by the latter, but I felt like it would have been too late as well. I also don't like the fact kung baliktad din yun, maganda yung first half and then pangit yung huli. But I think it all balances out. At the end of it all, it's just an okay, mediocre film. Worthwhile to watch, maybe if you skip along. If you go to the second half of the film, pwede na siya. I mean, okay na rin what you get out of it, but then it's just a slow burn from the start of it all, which I just felt like if you're in the cinema, sana stream ko na lang to at skinip ko yung mga parts na to, or times 2 speed ko siya. It's not even all that scary kasi din eh. That's what I actually didn't love about it, because there wasn't that entertaining factor to it. So I give it a 5 out of 10. It's just an okay film. It's still something worthwhile if you choose to watch it, but yun nga, just be ready for a couple of minutes or so of boredom. Don't forget to make every day into an adventure. Catch me on my next one. Peace.